evening, everybody. Hope our day is going well. It's that time again where we're having to discuss mental partners, where we're having to discuss courses, mental partners. Good evening, everybody. My name is Izine Ann. I will be your host, moderator for today. And today we'll be talking about data analysis, which I know is, for me, is an interesting topic or an interesting course to talk about. And I'm really excited that we have, very wonderful speakers here that are going to be taking us through, the nitty-gritties, the information, and everything, answering our questions about data analysis. So I'm excited to have everybody here. I'm excited to have Priska. I'm excited to have Ifoma. I'm excited to have Jesu Fermi. Good evening. Hope your day is going well. Good evening, Tunde. How are you?
Hello.
Hope your day is going well. Hi, Tunde. Hi. Hope your day is going well. Now I'm excited that we have you here. I was just talking to our guest about the wonderful things that we're going to be hearing from you and from Ifeanyi today, being our panelist for the course. So it's an honor and a privilege to have you with us today. Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, so I think we can actually start off webinar for today. So like we know, today's webinar is going to be on data analysis. And I know that just like me, there are a couple of extra people who have wondered, what exactly is data analysis? How can I understand the nitty-gritties of data analysis? Oh, I have questions. What's the difference between data analysis and something else? And these are all the questions that we're looking towards answering today. So for just to introduce Mr. Tunde, we have Mr. Tunde here, Mr. Tunde Eso. He's a data science and artificial intelligence manager at Jaguar Land Rover. Mr. Tunde, welcome again. I'm excited to share that over the years, Mr. Tunde has led the development and implementation of intelligence, machine learning. He has also been automated park assist, remote park assist features and development at Jaguar Land Rover. He's also a certified data center design consultant. He's a certified data center expert. He's an accredited tier designer. He's a certified project management professional. And over the years, he has worked with various companies like Cloud. He has worked with data at Resources PLC. He has worked with WG PLC. Mr. Tunde, welcome. With everything you have been able to do these years, I cannot wait to ask you all the questions that I have in mind to ask you, because this has to be very, very interesting. Welcome. It's a privilege to have you here, and I'm really, really excited about being here with you and being able to ask the questions. Welcome once again, Mr. Tunde.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and I hope it's going to be a very fruitful section. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I will have Mr. Ifeanyi. Mr. Ifeanyi will be joining us very soon. Mr. Ifeanyi is also a data analyst and product manager at Skilled Up Life. He has led product development initiative, leaderboard, internal needs, documenting product functionalities, IT certifications, and conducting competitive analysis. He also has masters in business administration. He's an expert and he also several qualifications and certification in AWS cloud technologies. He has worked in companies like Veriscale. He has worked in First Bank, holding various positions over a couple of periods. We'll be having him very soon. But before he joins, I think we can just start off with Mr. Tunde. Tunde, please turn on your video so we can see the cute picture with the tie and the shirt and the suit. And thank you so much. We're excited to have you here. So we'll just start off saying there are a lot of positive understanding what data analysis is all about. So I think my first question would be, what is data analysis? Like, for someone who doesn't know what it is, thinking about transitioning, what is data analysis? So please tell us what exactly is data analysis. Let us start off from there.
All right, thank you. And again, thank you for having me on this call this evening. Well, data analysis is about the use of data to make business decisions in our daily life, in whatever we do, either at work, in our homes, in our daily life, in what we do day in, day out. We gather and we generate a lot of data. So data analysis is about how you gather those data, process them, clean them, get them ready for either modeling or for presenting to management to say, well, based on our activities, based on what we are selling, based on how we are doing, this is what data shows. With this data that has been analyzed, I think we should focus here. I think this is where we are lagging behind. I think this is where we are doing well. I think this is what we need to do next. So data analysis is about getting data from different sources, cleaning it, making sure that it is valid, making sure that it makes sense to be further worked on, making sure that it is what can be interpreted, making sure that it has integrity, making sure that it is the right data. to make business decisions. Because these days, a lot of decisions we make depend on the data that we have with us. So data analysis is about getting that data, processing it, analyzing it, getting details that we want from it, and making quality business decisions that could make or mar the business. So you want to be sure that you have a data analyst that knows his or her onion, gets the job done, get the information from them, and make your decisions from that. So that is in brief what data analysis is.
Very interesting. And this is me. Okay, so basically now I understand that, data analysis is this and data analysis is that. So I think for me, I always used to think, oh, okay, you just analyze data, you just look at, does this fit this, does this fit this? Well, it's interesting to know that for the endpoint to assessing or analyzing the data that we're working with, the endpoint is to be able to make constructive professional career decisions, whatever it may be, to be able to make a decision that affects whatever it is we're about to do next by having a game plan in mind. And that's very, very interesting. Now it's good that we have a bit of an understanding about what exactly data analysis is. Mr. Tunde, at some point I would mix data analysis and business intelligence together. So I just wanted to know, is there anything that distinguishes data analysis from business intelligence? Like, in today's data-driven organization, what's that distinguishing factor or this key metric or whatever it is that will be able to make data analysis stand out from business intelligence so that I can really be able to differentiate?
Very good question. Very good question. Thank you. So yes, data analysis and business intelligence, they look quite integrated. They look, though they sound the same, but I'll put it in a way that they are not exactly the same, but they work hand in hand. You do data analysis, then you get business intelligence from it. If you look at my definition earlier, you analyze the data and then you make business decisions from it. So a well-analyzed data provides you something to work on to make a business decision. So when we try to differentiate between data analysis and business intelligence, you want to build on the definition of data analysis. So when you analyze data, like I said, they have different, they flow into each other. So when data analysis ends, then you can do business intelligence. In some organizations, you have people that do data analysis. They also do the same. They also play the role of business intelligence. But in some well-structured and larger organizations, you have people that do strictly data analysis, and you have people that do business intelligence. I will do a bit of clarity in terms of the differentiation. Now, you can have data analysis done without you making any business decision. But when you have a business intelligence person, or when you have business intelligence as a role, it means that after the data has been analyzed, then you have someone that has business acumen, someone that can say, oh, this is what this data is telling us. I think we should make some strategic decision, and in the next 2 years, we should be in this business. For example, someone sees that in the last 4 years, the sale of a particular product has been growing steadily. And you see that the fact that the sale was growing steadily, the profit was nosediving. Then the person can look at that information that was gotten from the analysis of that data and inform the executives, informs the board, and say, well, though we are making more sales, but no, it is profit that makes us happy. We don't want to continue in that business. Or you also figure out that, oh, you make very low volume of sales in a particular product, but the profit is so large. Then a business person will say, well, I think if we look at the result of this analysis of this product, look at the result of the people or the cost of producing that product, I think it makes more sense for us to now focus more on this particular product, or even drive new products from what this result is telling us. So it is one thing for a data analyst to come up with getting the data from different sources, maybe from the sales team, from the implementation team, from business development team, from different environments, get the data from different sources, clean it, because there could be some missing data. There could be some data that are not even available. There could be some data that have different formatting. So a data analyst will get all those data, clean them, process them, remove those that are not useful, maybe engineer some of the features and say, okay, this data I need to refine it. I need to make it better. I need to change it in terms of the format. I need to change the metrics. I need to do a lot of all stuff and deliver it to a a business intelligent person. The business development person then looks at it in the light of the business. The person is where the business at. The person has a business acumen. The person can see the future in terms of the numbers. So that I don't know if you can get the differentiation now. So the data analysis is very focused on how do I get the dirty jobs done, how do I get the data processing, clean it, visualize it, make people to see it. But the business person is seeing something else. This is growth. This is decline. This is improvement. Something may happen in the next 2 years. I can see steady growth. If this trend continues, this will happen. Oh, we need to begin to look at this area more. We need to set our focus less on this product. Or we need to see how we can make more profit. This is where is our highest loss and stuff like that. So a business intelligent person, in short, makes the best decision out of an analyzed data that has been provided by a data analyst. Like I said, it could be differentiated into 2 persons or 2 roles, but in some organization, it is meshed and collapsed. But there are distinctions. A data analyst analyzes that data, gets the data, cleans that data, modifies it, visualizes it, make it plain and open. But a business person is about business. How do we make more money? How do we make profit out of it? How does this help us? How does this, So that is the difference. A business intelligence person, from the visualization, can make business moves, business decisions. So those are, I don't know if that is clear enough, but those are the differences.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I think if there's one key way that I'm getting what you said now is, even after analyzing the data, right? Even as a data analyst, after analyzing the data, there's still a business analyst. There's still somebody whose job is to, project whatever it is the company's goal is for the coming years or for the coming 5 years, and then they leverage on the data that has been analyzed by the data analyst rather to ensure that certain things are properly put into perspective, certain things are properly put into consideration, and decisions are being made. So that was a very, very fantastic explanation, and that basically brings me to the next thing I want to ask. With everything you have said, I think I can now realize that in the coming years, company will need data analysts. So my question now would be, from your experience or from your exposure, how is the demand for data analytics evolving? How is it evolving across the industry? And what future trends should aspiring professionals prepare for? Because what you're saying, companies will make decisions. So, how is the demand? Because people that want to transition want to know, the good space, is this something that, the next coming 4 years I'm still relevant in the industry space? So what's that trend? What would you say is the evolving trend that has, and what exactly do you think we need to prepare for in years as they begin to look into transitioning into career?
Well, thank you for that question. And I think that it is very important that everybody prepare themselves for the revolution that is coming in the data analysis, data science space. We get to a time that major decisions that will be made on data. And what is data? Data is what we gather, what we see, what is documented, what is obvious, what we can say yes. How many did you sell? What is the sale like? What is the profit like? Is it declining? Is it improving? So anyone that wants to transition, you just need to know that yes, the space is really evolving. The space is because of the impact of artificial intelligence these days, we may say that the role of data analysts is kind of impacted, because you also need to be able to use AI as a tool. But then it is people that know data analysis in the first place that will also be able to use AI to enhance their jobs. So if you feel that, AI is doing a whole lot of data analysis work and becoming the data analyst of today, it is not completely right, because before you can use data, before you can use AI to enhance your job, then you must be good on that job in the first place. So whoever is looking into the area of data analysis, I think you are looking into a very good area, because a lot of businesses, like I said, are looking towards making decisions using data. Very unlike, in fact, if you look at companies, how will I put it now? If you look at their statements, if you look at their outcomes, they have a whole lot of voluminous data, but they need people to help them make sense out of it. They need to work with people that can help them visualize it, what is important, what is not important, see filter what is less important out, and give us what is important that we should make decisions on. Someone was asking me, but we have people that study statistics, that knows about. There are a huge differences between a statistician and a data analyst. Let me just make it very brief. If you are a statistician, the data is there for you, or well, let me say the data is not there. You need to go out and source the data. But the questions are there already. They say, okay, in the population of our sales, in the population of our customers, where are the largest majority of them coming from? Where is this coming from? Why are we having huge loss in this part of the world? Why are we not having customers in this part of the world? The questions are there for you. They've told you what they want to arrive at. They know, in fact, the business as a whole, the board, the executive knows the pain points. They're asking you, this is our problem. What is happening? How can we then you go about getting the data and you try to analyze? But a data analyst, the data is there for you. You then need to ask intelligent questions from the data. You need to explore the data. They call something exploratory data analysis. When you look at different trends, what is trending with others, what as one is going up, one is coming down, you need to come up with the questions yourself, and you need to answer those questions with the data that you have. So it's a wide environment, is a place that is evolving. If you want to step into that business area, you are stepping into somewhere that is large, somewhere that learning is unending, somewhere that learning must be continuous, and somewhere that you may not graduate from it, because you just keep, if you graduate from being a data analyst, you may get into becoming a data scientist, a data modeler, data engineer, and you just keep continuing to learn and learn and learn and learn. So you are welcome if you like to be in that space. It is important for you to learn some basic mathematics, some statistics, some probability, but you are very valuable, because as you are in that space, you can answer a lot of questions for businesses. You can answer a lot of questions for large organizations, small to medium organizations. You are relevant in a lot of space. So I'll stop there.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think I have to chuckle when you said cannot graduate from it.
Yes.
That shows like the space of continuous learning, everybody. So the more we involve, the more we have to imbibe more things. Just before we go forward, I'll just like to welcome Mr. Ifeanyi. Mr. Ifeanyi, we'll be waiting for you. I know you're on the call. Please turn on your video. We want to see you. We have seen the guy with the white shirt and the tie. We would love to see your face. So please turn on your video. And before we go on, please, if you have questions for our panelists, drop it in the box. We definitely will be taking the questions. The idea behind having Tunde and Mr. Ifeanyi here is to ensure that, those questions that you have are answered. And one very good thing that I would also like to let us know is that everything Mr. Ifeanyi talking about, everything Mr. Tunde has spoken about, these are some things and more that Mentor Partners will be training you on. When you join their training sessions, we expose you to the nitty-gritties, the important information, the big and the small information about data analysis. So yes, while we are having the session, we also want you to know that we are here for you. Mentor Partners is that through the process. I always say, what better way to walk the process than to walk through it with somebody or with people who have gone through that part. So we have a question. I think I'll just give Mr. Tunde a little bit of a breather, and then I'll go to Mr. Ifeanyi. Mr. Ifeanyi, I was asking, Ifeoma, thank you so much for your question. She says, my question is business intelligence and business analysis the same thing? Maybe while he's trying to sort that out, Mr. Tunde, you can just help us out with that. Mr. Ifeanyi is sorting that. I think he's trying to sort out a couple of things.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Can you take the question again? I think it's part of what we spoke about earlier, the difference between data analysis and business intelligence. Is that the question?
Our question is business intelligence and business analysis.
business intelligence and
Yes,
business
business,
analysis.
yeah. Like I did the same thing. Like I know they both have businesses. You want to think that obviously they would speak to each other in terms of activities and the rest. But are there any one or two significant differences that would just differentiate them?
Okay, all right. Let me take it this way. Business analysis is a bit more expanded than business intelligence. In some cases, some people may take them to be similar, but there's a big body of knowledge when it comes to business analysis. Is a broader field, business analysis, because it is not just about the intelligence you get from data. It is also about how you run the organization, how you run the business to make more profits. So there's a big body of knowledge on business analysis. You analyze, in fact, it's like it is a combination of knowledge of data, intelligence from data, and also managing a business as a project, end to end. Analyzing a business is about starting. How do you even start the business? How do you even analyze the business to know if it is profitable? How do you scope the business? How do you get people into the business? How do you keep the business running, business operations, making the business worthwhile, expanding on the business, running it? So it's a whole lot. It's more involved than just business intelligence. So business intelligence is okay, from the data that we've gathered, this is the strategic decisions that we should be making based on this visualization that we can see, based on this data that we can get, based on this trend, based on the modeling of the data that we've seen. So business intelligence is in that light. But when it comes to business analysis, it's broader. It's broader. And that is why, like I said, there's a whole body of knowledge about it that is even documented, much more than what we have in business intelligence data analysis. So it's more expanded. They are not exactly the same. You may see people define them and say, is analysis and is intelligence? It's more involved than that. So, but if you want more detailed understanding about what exactly comes within business analysis space, I think you can speak with one or more of our consultants on this call. But in short, they are not exactly the same. Business analysis is more involved than just business intelligence.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Tunde. I would also like to reply to Ifoma that, you can book for, if you have more questions about business analysis, you can book a free consultation center. The link will be dropped on the chat box where you can actually speak with one or more of our business analysts, so that we can be able to, address your questions, address your concerns, and also give you full information that would help you make a decision or help you be in a better place in terms of the knowledge of what you intend to. Ifeanyi, I can see you're back. Welcome. Please signify if you're back so that I'm sure that you're back. Oh, fantastic. Okay. It's nice to have you here again, Mr. Ifeanyi. So I have a question. Someone asked and said, for someone without experience, what are the most effective entry point data analysis?
Okay, so I just want to appreciate this seminar. I'll start from where my co-speakers spoke about. The first thing you have to have is an ongoing school. So you need to have a curious mindset. You have to have problem-solving mindset. You always want to know what's happening, what's behind the data, And so the first thing you need to learn is how to manage numbers, because that's the first thing that you're going to work with. You're going to work with numbers. So you have to understand how numbers work, what to do with numbers, how to manipulate your numbers, how to get your mean, your median, your mode. So you have to be curious. You have to try to find patterns. You have to find patterns in your numbers. If you're given 5 numbers, you want to find what's the average of those numbers, which numbers happen or occur more than once, which numbers are in the middle. And they have names for those things. They have names like mean, median, and mode. So you have to have an idea of how to manipulate numbers. You have to understand certain things like spread. How far the number, what's the range of these numbers? So the first thing that you have to learn as a data analyst is that you have to be curious, you have to have a critical mindset, you have to have a problem-solving mindset, you have to want to know there's a story behind the data. Every data analyst always wants to tell a story, because at the end of the day, a decision has to be made. At the end of the day, there's a business case, there's a business issue that needs to be resolved. And so you have to present a decision for change makers to make their decision and make their choices.
Very, very interesting. So, there's a part of as an Igbo girl, when you kept saying numbers, I was just thinking money. Can I apply the data analysis sense to when we want to collect the money that is not our own? But it's interesting to know that there are very key things that we need to know, and that's the curiosity to be able to say, oh, I want to learn how to manipulate numbers. Will I be able to not manipulating them, but learn how to work around numbers to be able to produce results, or to be able to produce the kind of information that would help a department or a company or a management make result-driven solutions or decisions that would take the company forward, and that's very, very interesting. So there's another question that I have. So someone said in a compressed learning timeline, because if you can see our poster say, or our theme for this webinar says unlock in 4 months. So there's someone who is curious, and the person is asking, in compressed learning time, like 4 months, what are the key critical areas to focus to become job ready in data analysis? I know we talked about the key things when you want to start, but somebody is saying now, what are the most critical areas to focus to become job ready? Now, I want to be job ready. I want to go through this thing in, say, 4 months, right? What are the key things I need to focus on to become job ready? I think I would like Mr. Ifeanyi to speak on it, and then Mr. Tunde will also speak on it, because I know obviously there are two perspectives to different perspectives. So I'll just start with Mr. Ifeanyi first, and then Mr. Tunde will speak.
All right. Coming from why I said from as a data analyst, you are a numbers manager. You're just trying to pick data and then present a story, present a reason for change. And there are a couple of platforms that you will be introduced to. Now, these platforms are platforms on which you can quickly wrangle, manipulate, and transform, do your feature engineering, prepare. There are a lot of things that you can even visualize your data, and that such that once someone sees it, that person knows exactly what it is you're saying. For example, let me give you an example. Now, you know that rainfall falls in Nigeria. Okay, I'm in Lagos, so you say maybe April, May, June, July, down to October. Now I can do a chart. I can do a chart. You will see that maybe it's a column chart. You see that my column chart record nothing for January. You likely record nothing for December. But when you come to June and July, and I do that in Excel. So one of the platforms that you can use to, show that and pass your message across is Excel. And then when you want to do a bit of, when the data is a bit is more than what Excel can manage, then you start talking about query languages, databases, SQL, Google Query, and what have you. And then when you want to visualize, there are platforms that help you visualize. You talk about Tableau and Power BI. So basically, if we're going to get you ready, we're just talking about spreadsheets, Excel, then we'll put you on one of the databases, SQL, then we'll put you on one of the visualization platforms, Tableau and Power BI. And trust me, you're good to go. You're good to tell your story. You're good to help an organization push forward his agenda, improve on his bottom line.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ifeanyi. Okay, so Mr. Tunde, over to you. Tell us what are the most critical areas to focus to become ready? to become job ready. I want to be a data analyst. What are the key things that I need to do so that when I go into the job market, I'm going with my full, what they call it, breastplate of righteousness, armor of God, every bit of it. So
yeah. Right. So I think Mr. Efrain has done a very good justice to that, and I think he summarized it really well. Just to add,
please tell me.
Is there anything to even add? He has covered. You have to be analytical. You have to be a problem solver because you are working with data. The data is the stuff that's got generated from the business. It could be as simple as what's the number of sales, what's the total number of customers we have, what is the demography, where are they coming from, what are the different things that you can make that you can capture from your business. So you visualize them. You can use simple spreadsheet as simple as Excel to do that. You have to prepare yourself for statistics. You have to prepare yourself for probability. You have to prepare yourself for being an analytical person. You must be detail oriented. And as you go on to advance a bit over that, you can lay your hand on some simple coding. And like Efrain said, if you move away from Tableau, from SQL, from Power BI, you want to do some better data crunching. And you want to analyze even larger volume of data, then you want to perhaps look at simple coding languages like Python, and maybe some Python libraries like NumPy, like Pandas, and you want to also advance in your visualization platforms. You want to go into, say, Matplotlib. Those are simple libraries that you can use to advance your visualization. You may be able to manipulate, and that word is not wrong to say manipulate. Yes, you manipulate data really, because you are swinging it, you are wrangling it, you are twisting it, you are shifting it, you are making it suit the purpose you want to achieve. So you are really manipulating it. So you can advance a bit over the regular Tableau, Power BI, Excel, SQL. You can go into NoSQL databases. You can go into visualization with Matplotlib, Seaborn, and some other libraries that gives you more flexibility to making your data even better visualized, making your data speak more. And another thing that you have to prepare for is telling stories with data. Oh, this is where we were, and this is where we are now because of A, B, and C, and D. If C, E, F continues, this is where we will be, and this is what we must do to avoid this. These are the predictions for the next few years, and like that. So it graduates, and like we said, you will keep learning. As you surmount some levels, you get into some other bigger levels. It becomes more exciting. It becomes more challenging. You will struggle, you'll be happy, you will surmount it, and on you go. So that's all you have to prepare yourself for.
Okay, so quick question. I'm hearing SQL, I'm hearing Python. Can I use, so if I want to transition into data analysis, well, for personal reasons, not, I want to be able to use SQL to, to collect money to my boss. When you ask somebody for money, they say, no, explain what you want to use it for. Because I have a big uncle that every time you ask him for money, he says, no, come and tell us what you want to use it for. So I'm excited about the fact that now I can manipulate data to collect the kind of money that I want to collect. So thank you so much. That's a very, very creative and fantastic breakdown. But before I go to our next question, someone sent a question and said, is it really true that you can actually transition in 4 months? So I would like to answer that before I throw it out to either of our speakers to talk about. Yes, you can actually transition in 4 months. That is those are one of the services, or that's one of the key services that Mentor Partner offers. We train you, we mentor you, we help you through the transition process. And this transition process is not just theoretical. We talk about practical knowledge. We talk about hands-on experience, real life hands-on experience, where you actually have to put into practice everything you have learned during the whole process, everything you have learned during the training and the mentorship process. So yes, it is very, very possible. I have seen mentor partners do it. Over the past few years, we have helped 200, 300, 400 people transition from their current career space into their preferred career space. So the next question says that, what strategies can help experienced professional transform from operational analytics role into strategic decision making with data analysis? What strategies can help experienced professionals transition from operational analysis into strategic decision making process positions with data analysis? So I think I would have Mr. Tunde just throw a bit of flesh here and there to the answers of that question.
All right, cool. Thank you. When you are an operations person in terms of data analysis, like we said earlier, all you are doing is getting the data from different sources, trying to clean them, trying to make them be in a better position for onward use, maybe by the business intelligence person, maybe by someone that wants to model that data, maybe someone that wants to make predictions out of that data, maybe someone that wants to do some of that stuff. But if you are such an operational person that, they give you data, you crunch it, you process it, you clean it, you visualize it, and you then pass it on. Maybe you communicate it to business managers, business developers, executive management to say, this is where we were last month, this is where we are today. The trend is going up, the trend is going down, our competition is doing better, and like that. You are an operations person because you keep working on data every time. Then, if you now want to position yourself for some strategic positions where you want to make strategic business decisions, you are no longer just the operations person that just crunch data and make visualizations out of it, but you want to become part of people that make strategic decisions. Then you have to wear the business hat. Then you have to position yourself as a business person. Okay, you've crunched data, and so what? You visualize the data, you presented it, and so what? You made it clean, it's now in a very good shape for business modeler, for people that will create predictions out of it, and so what? But if you put yourself as a business owner and say, wow, we are in a mess, this is lost, this is a very good place to be, this is where we should be spending much money, this is where we should research more, this is what we should be doing. I think this decline shows that there will be more businesses for us if people are not in that space anymore. There are a very low volume of sales, but then the profit is very high. What if we increase our sales product? What if we increase our sales or our production in this area where we have little revenue, where we have little inflow, little volume, but the largest profit? So putting the heart of business on, putting on your business acumen, learning about business analysis, business process management, you just wear the heart of a business owner, and you make more sense, make more business intelligence from the data that you've analyzed, transitions you from being a data analytics process or operations person to a more strategic thinker, to somebody that solves business problems, to someone that wants to take the business to higher ground. In fact, this applies to every role that you may be in wherever you work. If you are just the kind of an operational person, they say do A, you do A. Implement B, you implement B. Develop C, you develop it. But if you are such a person that says, but why? Why are we doing this? How does that help our business? How does that make my business expand? How does it place us in the first 2 or 3 within our competition? How does that separate us? How does that distinguish us? Then you are a strategic person. Then they call you into some strategic meetings that, this is it. What do you think? What should we be doing? How does that affect our business? How does it improve our profit? So transitioning from being a procedural person, an operations person, means that what is in your heart is about business, is about profitability, is about getting the business from point A to point B, makes you someone more strategic, and you become better positioned within the area that you serve. That's the way I put it.
Yeah, very, very interesting. So it's very nice to know that with the information you have gotten, you can actually start making decisions. Like you can transition into being a strategic person with not just stopping where you have gotten the information. You move further to use those information you have been able to analyze to implement strategies, to implement solutions, and that's actually very interesting. It makes the idea. I think it buttresses the point of where funny enough, how both you and Mr. Ifeanyi are the same thing. It's a continuous learning process. You will keep learning, you will keep implementing this thing. So it's really very, very, very interesting. I think right now I would like to ask, sorry, I'd like to ask Mr. Ifeanyi this question. So somebody wants to know, how important is hands-on projects? Hands-on project experience, how important are they? And what are the effective ways to build a professional portfolio within months? How effective are hands-on project experience, and what are the effective ways to build a professional portfolio within few months?
All right. So I'll say that the hands-on project is the difference between reading a novel and practicing, or watching football on TV and going to play football. It's a different ball game. So, I mean, just reading and going through what's on the net or in a book doesn't confer that you may know what you're talking about. You won't understand the deadlines. I mean, in true life situations, data analysts don't have forever to work. They have deadlines, they have requirements, they have to have an outcome at the end of the day, and that's what this project do for you. This hands-on project that you undertake when you join the cohort. They help you to understand how to manage your data, how to apply the principles that you may have learned, and to apply them in real time. So when you see data and you want to work on it and you find out that there are lots of missing values in it, what can I do? What am I supposed to do? And the thing about life is that data doesn't come to you well prepared. There's no data that is well prepared. It's always missing here and there. There's always something that is not okay. There's always some outlier. There's always issues. So when you do this hands-on project, you have an understanding of how people capture data. You know, you can do a questionnaire and you ask somebody a question, and instead of him to answer 1, 2, 3, 4, he says about 4 or 3 to 5, or some days 3, some days 5. How do you handle those kind of scenarios? So what I'm just trying to say is that hands-on projects are the ways to inject the excitement, the flavors, the day-to-day life of a data analyst. And if you don't do these things, you miss out on what the data analyst does on a day-to-day. And then your portfolio, if you're going to design your portfolio, there are different kinds of, depending on the industry, your domain knowledge, or where you're coming from, where you target, and what your interests are. So you have in healthcare, you have marketing, you have supply chain, you have banking, finance, and so on and so forth. You have customer service, you have e-commerce. You try your hands at each of these domain areas. For example, if you are working in advertising and you are talking about digital advertising, you're talking about clicks per impression, click-through rate, you're talking about cost per conversion, then you begin to understand what's going on in those areas. What are their priorities? If you're talking about healthcare, you're talking about, I mean, the amount of positive tests against the likelihood of a positive test, failed positive, failed negative, and all of that. Now, it brings you into the action, into the excitement of what data analysts do, as against just reading a novel and then forgetting it. So your hands-on project is your portfolio, which is what you sell, to your prospective employer, which is what you sell to the person who you might want to undertake his project, is what gives you hands-on, gives you the meat of understanding what the data analyst does on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ifeanyi. That was very, very great. So now, don't mind me. I'm excited because this is a field that I have looked towards transitioning into for a long time. So every time you talk, there's a part of me that clicks, or there's a part of me that gets one thing or the other that I have been, juggling about, and that's very interesting. Very quickly, because I know our time is fast spent. I think I would like to ask this question to Mr. Tunde. Mr. Tunde, there's someone who is curious And she wants to know, she says, how can professionals from non-technical backgrounds leverage their existing knowledge to pivot into data analytics? How can they do that?
Yeah, very simple. In fact, there are a lot of transferable skills. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, you're very audible.
Okay,
Yes, you're very
okay, all right. So you have a lot of transferable skills that you can bring into this transitioning, and it's about the mindset, it's about readiness, it's about willingness, it's about your dedication to it. If in your present place of work you know how to add numbers, or if in your present role you add numbers, you talk to people about what was done yesterday, what is likely to happen tomorrow. Those are data points. There are a whole lot of data points everywhere. As we are on this call right now, there is data. One of those data points is, oh, we are about 10 on this call. Next week, maybe there'll be 15. Oh, it's improving. Maybe it's 20. Maybe it was. So data is everywhere. So your ability to talk about data, your ability to say, well, that is not correct, that is different, that is an improvement. Yes, you can leverage your previous role, whatever you do in your previous role, you can bring them to transition into a data analyst role, data science role. So it's, like I said, it's just about you being ready to really transition. And it's nothing, it's no skyrocket science. If you know how to add 1 + 1, if you can do a bit of mathematics, if you show interest and you dedicate time to it, like someone was asking, is it possible for you to transition in 4 months? Yes, very, very possible. And is it also possible for you not to transition in 6 years? If you think so, it is also possible. If you think you can, if you think you cannot, you are both correct. If you think you can in 3 months, yes, you are correct. Maybe not an expert. Nobody becomes an expert in 3 months. Not an expert like that. But are you job ready? Are you able to compete? Because whatever this forum is going to be giving you is going to be very structured, straight to the point. We practice preparation for job and for a job environment. That's what the preparation is going to set you for. So yes, it is possible to transition within that number of months. Oh, I don't come from mathematics background. Oh, I am from commercial or art-based industry, or whatever. It is possible as long as you set your focus at it, you give it the right dedication, the time that it involves, and you are not jumping from here to there. You have a structured approach to study, and you know where you are going. It's very possible. Your skills that you have already can easily be transferred into this area. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that leads me to my final follow-up question. Somebody says, how does data analyst and business analyst collaborate with other business functions? You know, the marketing, finance, operation. How does data analyst and business intelligence analyst collaborate with other functions to drive impact? Because I know that in the beginning of this, Mr. Tunde, you had mentioned that, you know what, data analysts basically have the opportunity of working with different functions, because in every function, like you mentioned, there is data. So somebody is asking, how does data analysts and business intelligence analysts, how do they collaborate with the other functions, the finance, the marketing, the business development? How do they collaborate to drive impact in the company?
All right, great. So if you look at those different business functions, they work hand in hand. They work so much hand in hand. You may want to put your focus on the sales team, on the business development team, on the implementation team, on the design team, on different teams. Then you analyze the business from that perspective. You can use data coming from the data analyst, coming from the business intelligence department to carry out that analysis. So like I said earlier, there is a bit of difference and expansion in the role of the business analyst, the business analysis from the business intelligence aspect. So you use the data coming from the data analyst, the intelligence that the business intelligence person has gotten from that analysis, then you use it to analyze the business as a whole. Like I said, there could be different functions within the entire organization. that you want to analyze. So you want to analyze the accounting, you want to analyze the business process itself, you want to analyze the business risk, you want to analyze business exposures, you want to analyze the sales function, you want to analyze a whole lot of different functions within the organization itself. So they all work together. And also, it could be only two sets of people, business analysts or business intelligence only, that there could be different set of people that will be working on different aspects of it. It could also be a single role that will work across the analysis, business intelligence derivation from that, and also analyzing the business as a whole. What I'm trying to say is that it could be collapsed into a single function, and it could also be structured differently so that different set of people work on those different bits, analyze it, derive business intelligence. Analyze data, derive business intelligence from that data, and analyze the business as a whole. Three different functions. They can also be collapsed into either two or one. So they work hand in hand. That's the summary of it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Tunde. Thank you so much for clarifying. Just before we take our last words from our panelists, I just wanted to talk about, I know in the chat box you've been saying book a section. So one of the things Mentor Partners do is actually take you through the whole process. And this is what our roadmap, our career transitioning roadmap looks like. The first stage will be for you to book a consultation session, which is free, of course. What this does for you is it enables you to have a better insight on what you are to expect when you start your training and mentorship, depending on what the course is, depending on what exactly you want to do. This basically is what you get to work with. This is where you get to ask the pre-questions. This is where you get to ask the questions that help you make the decision. And then we'll move to the stage 2, which is our career planning. Under the career planning, we do the market analysis and the career roadmap planning. We don't just put you out there to start training. We let you know what the key metric, what key measuring metrics are going to be. So you understand what phase you're going to get to. You have an idea of what you're supposed to achieved at certain phase of the training. And then the third part is the capacity building. Under the capacity building, your training has started, your mentorship and internship. I know you must have heard Mr. Tunde talk about, Mentor Partners, we do this. Yes, Mr. Ifeanyi also mentioned the same. It's not just the theoretical aspect. So you train with Mentor Partners, you're mentored, you go through the internship stage. And this is because we want to make sure that at the end of your transitioning period, or at the end of that training period, you are job ready. Yes, as we have mentioned, nobody gets to be an expert in 4 months, 2 years, but guess what? You can actually be the right candidate for the job. You can be the right candidate for that particular space. How can you do this? Train with the right people, train with the right platform. And this is what Mentor Partners offers. And then lastly, which is the fourth stage, the 4 weeks before completion, where you're going to do the pre-market analysis and the job market preparation. In our last webinar, we asked and says, what happens after I am done with my training? Mentor Partners does not leave you after you're done with your training. We are with you even on the job. The idea is to make sure that you have a backload of people with knowledge that you can actually reach out to, that you can talk to, that you can be able to run back to say, oh, this is what I'm working on. How can I help? How can I sort it out? And we have our professionals, we have our career mentors that are going to be there to put you straight. And then finally, the 1 week before completion, which is our feedback and alumni community. We have beautiful people in our alumni community. Over the past 4 years, has trained between 800 and 1,000 people for different fields and different career fields. And this is what we want you to be part of. We want you to be part of the Mentor Partners. We want you to be part of the clique of people that are advancing as we are experiencing technological advancement. We're also moving with the trend. I'm really excited about this. Lastly, before we let us go, I would just like to take maybe a last words for everybody from our panelists. So I'll start with Mr. Ifeanyi. Any last words for the people that are here? What would you want to tell them?
All right. I want to say thank you for coming. Data analytics is for everybody. If you are in your function, whether it's retail, operations, marketing, clinical, medical, whatever it is you are doing, and you want to think next level, you want to bring change. You don't want it to just be procedural. Just like Mr. Olatunde said, you want to be strategic. why would your boss promote you if you cannot bring something different, something new to the shop, something new to your firm, something new to your organization? It just trains you to think in such a way that you can bring a change that is backed by data, and then you add more value to where you are. So you're welcome, and it's a place where data analysis is where you gain a lot for yourself and for your organization.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ifeanyi. Please, let's not forget, for those who are asking how to book a session, you can link in the bio, be able to book your free session with professionals, questions, and then we can basically planning your roadmap towards transitioning. You can also visit our social media pages so you can have a view of the past webinars we have done, success stories from our alumni, and also success stories even from the people that are going through our training session right now. The links are in our bio, the links are in our chat box rather. Sorry, the links are in the chat box. Click the links, book your free session, go to our social media pages, and I'm very, very sure to be excited. Babatunde, please, any last words from you?
Yeah, thank you. And I want to appreciate everyone for your patience up to this time. Data science, data analytics, artificial intelligence, all these things are to this age what Bitcoin was in the last 10 years. So please jump at it. If you want to become anything that has to do with data, is it data scientist? Is it a data engineer? Is it an artificial intelligence person? It starts from being a data analyst. Everything starts with data. In fact, there is no artificial intelligence without data. There is no data scientist without data. There is no data engineer without data. There is no generative AI person without data. So this is a starting point, and you can begin to change your life right from being a data analyst. And like my co-partner, my co-panelist said, you cannot go wrong with it. You just have to jump in. It's a place to be. So please get started. You can transition. It is not any rocket science. You can do it. Please start and get in. That's my last word. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Tunde. Thank you, Mr. Ifeanyi. Once again, I am excited and thrilled to have had Anchor. It has been very informative. It has been very interesting, especially for me. I'm sure there are a couple of other people here who have been fascinated by the information that you have shared. We are glad to have learned from you, from your knowledge and your experience, and we're sure that this would definitely, the information we have gotten today would definitely help us in making, futuristic and career advancing decisions. Thank you so much. I wish I would clap right there. Thank you so much. I'm thrilled. So if we have any other questions, if anybody wants to be able to ask any questions, we need to let our panelists go, but that is not all our webinar sessions. We still have a webinar session coming up next week. And you'll be intrigued to know that next week we're going to be talking about AI. We're going to be talking about other things. We do our webinar sessions are on the go. So it will interest you to not miss next week webinar sessions. Do not miss next webinar sessions. I will be here again next week to talk to you about how you can level up career in IT in 3 to 4 months. And then we're also going to be talking about how to elevate your master governance for risk and compliance in 6 to 12 weeks, how interesting that can be. So please, until I see you again next week, please have a great day, have a great and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Cheers.